We're located in Northwest Indiana, about a stone's throw from the Illinois-Indiana border, so we're right near Chicago, which is an advantage for us in that we are a part of the Chicago media market. But the Chicago media market doesn't care much about Northwest Indiana. So if people want local information, they need to go to the newspaper, which is great for us and has helped as we've tried to cement our brand in the area, in our market, as the source for local information. So, newspapers are now in the perfect storm. It's a time of decreased circulation, an ailing economy yielding decreased ad revenues, and all at a time of change driven by the digital revolution. Lee Enterprises and the Times are facing this head-on by embracing change, by promoting a culture of change. It has, in fact, been a path of change for many years, starting with the change from letterpress to offset printing in the 1960s, computers in the 1980s, the introduction of full-page pagination in the 90s, and now a digital revolution. Not only has it changed the mechanics, but it continues to change how we gather and process the news. This is a time of fundamental and, yes, radical change. Look to the ASNE, the American Society of Newspaper Editors is now the American Society of News Editors, not just newspapers. First, let's talk about the economics. Not the most pleasant of topics, but with the demand for a decrease in costs has come a reduction in staff, in content, and in ancillary expenses. Like many newspapers, we have been forced to drop sections, cut pages, rethink what is essential for our print product. Yes, I called it a product, and we must consider new approaches to providing information. In the mid-1990s, the Times was considered on the cutting edge of change. We went to full-page pagination. We adopted what became known as the Munster model, with 9 geographically targeted zones, full color on all section fronts, and selected inside pages. We expanded sections. We had a staff of 137. Today, we've cut pages on several occasions for a loss of over 40 pages per week. We have eliminated sections and thus content. We have 4 zones covering an even greater geographic area, and our staff now numbers 92. But there is more to the story. What about circulation? It grew during that period. In 2009, we were cited by Editor and Publisher magazine as the fastest growing English daily newspaper in the nation. At the same time, we've learned to do more with less. We have 8 niche publications ranging from business to health magazines. We also produce what is now called custom content, ranging from special news to advertorial publications. All this with a staff of 4 and reporting to our executive editor. A decade ago, this would have been taboo for a newsroom. But in 2008, we changed from a newsroom to a media center. Our mission: provide relevant information to the people of Northwest Indiana and the Southeast Chicago suburbs. Relevant became a matter of greater definition and understanding of what information should be directed to which information platform, each with its own definition of what was acceptable. For instance, the health magazine, an advertising-related product, would play to the recognition various hospitals had received or to the doctors there, accurate but sometimes flattering. Meanwhile, the core newspaper has adhered to the tried and proven standard of journalism, strict ethical guidelines. Having even more impact, though, was the introduction of the internet to our media center. To be sure, we had a website early on. It was basically just a rehash of what we had in the newspaper, but that too has changed. Today, we have multiple sites. The core NWI.com boasts a daily video news report, often video of breaking news and in-depth video reports that augment newspaper stories, especially enterprise and investigative work. There's a prep sports site, a weekly political roundtable video that we do. Soon we'll have a video studio, and we'll offer added regular specialized programming such as chats with newsmakers. Mobile readers have been a particular focus as we've introduced iPhone and Android apps, and soon coming an iPad app aimed at taking advantage of the strengths of each of these platforms. We share updates via Facebook and Twitter and send breaking news alerts to our readers. But the online scene for a media company such as ours is not without local competition. At least 4 local contenders are seeking to capture local online users, including another local daily newspaper. Thus far, we have led the flow of local information. After all, our franchise is local information. While in the shadow of the Chicago media, we dominate the supply of information in our Indiana market. But there is more to the local scene. It's meant we've had to anticipate the possible arrival of a national menace. Patch Incorporated, moving from market to market. Patch is establishing community by community websites, intently local in nature. Thus, earlier this year, we began a series of community sites. Today we have 20 sites, all being fed first by the news staff, by what we have in our newspaper. But now it's also flooded with information supplied by sources within each community: schools, churches, social and civic organizations, even individuals proud of their children's accomplishments. It's an example of what one of the sites looks like. And just as an aside here, this past week we had a large fire in one of our rural communities, Lowell. Smoke could be seen for miles and miles, unprompted, and it's kind of with the community site. There's if you scroll down on one of our community sites, you'll see a button that says submit your photos. Through these community sites, we had people submitting photos of the fire, and we had probably 24 reader photos that we were able to direct people to and link to from our online story and show people a gallery of photos that were taken. So that's the kind of connection that we are really aiming for with these community sites. Within months, we'll offer more than 50 such sites. In time, as the audience grows, we'll sell community advertising on the sites. For instance, the Crown Point, Indiana beauty salon that can't afford to advertise in the Times will, for a few dollars, be able to run an ad on crownpointcommunity.com, which is the local community website there. But more than advertising, at a time when we must curtail the space for news, even community briefs in the printed newspaper, we can offer unlimited space online. Meanwhile, all the news from all these community sites can be accessed from our home nwi.com site as well. Also impacting what we do is the Lee move to regional pagination centers. The Times now paginates the Sioux City, Iowa newspaper. In a matter of months, we will add other newspapers. What all this digital development has meant is a reorganization of staff and an understanding by staff members that they work for a multimedia company, not simply a printed outlet for the news. All staff members supply or process information for the varied outlets. We're not divided into online and print staffing. A year ago, we launched our Total Content Management System, TCMS, one seamless system to produce both print and online products. It's meant educating the staff on tagging content, which has essentially turned all our staff into online producers. Finally, about the future of the newspaper. I believe for years to come there will be a printed newspaper. While change will continue at a rapid pace, that change from printed to full digital audience will at the least be generational. The struggle will be how to maintain ad revenue for newspapers with a declining circulation. But on the other hand, how will media companies like the Times generate increasing revenues from digital platforms? That, my friends, is the question that all media companies must face in the years ahead. We believe we have a strategic plan to meet the changing media world. The good news is that the demand for information will continue, and the need for serious journalists to provide factual information and analysis will continue, only in new ways. Thank you.